How do I get my child back who has gone astray? It's a good question. It's a difficult situation, a difficult question sometimes, because a lot of times answers that we think we have to the question, they don't normally work out the way we want them to work out. And I see this all the time, and I hear it all the time. Parents who had good kids or has a good child, everything was going fine, and all of a sudden it took a downward turn. The child's behavior changed, who the child hung out with changed, and eventually the child's grades changed. The child started slacking in school, and the child did go to church services and stop, and now you're looking at a totally different child than what you had. And it's hurtful to parents. I haven't been in a situation like that yet. I pray I don't. But I've seen people in that situation, and I've seen the hurt that it causes. And I've had people ask me, what do I do? What can I do to get my child back the way he or she was? And many times the answer from me is, I don't know. Because you never know what you can do to get a child back. I can give you 3 things that I know the Bible says that are very effective. Not just for a child, but for anybody. It could be your spouse. It could be your child. It could be a friend, a family member. It can be a church member. There are 3 things that we can do to help people who've gone astray come back. Now, obviously, we point out people the error of their way. We point that out. We correct them. God tells us to rebuke them and let them see what they're doing is wrong. But many times when a person goes astray, they know what they're doing is wrong. They don't care. They just don't care. So aside from pointing out their error, which is going to be obvious, and if it's not obvious, we're going to do it anyway. Aside from that, there are 3 things that I think that could possibly help. Number 1, just influence. Live the way you want them to live. That's all you got to do. Live the way you want them to live. If a child cannot see in a parent the very lifestyle that that parent wants the child to live, then it's pointless to try to win them back. For instance, if you have a child who curses all the time and you want them to stop, yet you curse all the time, what's the point? If you have a child that drinks all the time and you drink all the time and you tell that child, I don't want you to be like me, are you serious? That child is going to do like you, be just like you. They're going to do what you do. So make sure the lifestyle you live is the lifestyle you will want your child to imitate. Jesus says in Matthew chapter 5, 13 through 16, beginning in verse 13, he says, you are the salt of the earth. But if the salt loses its flavor, then how can it season anything? It's good for nothing. You're the salt of your child's life. And if you can't change your child's life by your behavior, what good are you to that child? You are the light of the world, city set on the hill that cannot be moved. Verse 16 says, therefore let your light shine among men. I'm telling you, let your light shine before your child so they can see your good works and glorify God. So, be a good influence. Number 2, show them love. Show them love. Don't beat them up. I mean, they know what they're doing is wrong. You beating them up is not going to bring them back any quicker. Show them love. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, the whole chapter is about love. And Paul said, beginning of verse number 1, though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, and I have not love, I become a sounding brass or tinkling cymbal. And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mystery and all knowledge, and though I have all faith so that I can remove mountains and have not love, I am nothing. And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor and give my body to be burned and have not love, I am nothing. It profits me nothing. Why? Because love involves more than just us doing those things. Love suffers long. Love is kind. Love does not envy. Love is not puffed up. It does not vaunt itself. Love does not behave rudely. It does not seek its own. It does not rejoice in evil and rejoice in iniquity. It rejoices in truth. Love is a series of positive actions that we show toward people. Why? Because we want those same actions exhibited back toward us or in those people's lifestyle. Paul said, if you don't show love, then everything else you do is nothing. So number 2, show your child that you love them. And then number 3, and this is the hardest one, sometimes life just has to catch up with people. In Psalms chapter 119, beginning verse number 67 down around verse number 71, David is talking here about his life. And he talks about 3 different aspects of his life. When he was following God, when he went astray, and when he came back and what brought him back. And in those verses, David said, before I was afflicted, meaning before I went through anything, I went astray. And he said, it's a good thing I went astray, and it's a good thing I became afflicted, because now I follow your way. Now I follow your statutes. Now I've learned what you require of me, God. So what was David basically saying? David was saying this right here. You know what? It was good for me that I went astray, because when I left God, when I left the right path and went the wrong path, I suffered. And it was only because the suffering I received in my life that made me realize I need to change. Parents, sometimes you can't do anything. But if anything can help, the way you live, the love you show, and the life that child lives, themselves and the experience that they go through, those things may be the key to bringing them back. But in the end, put your trust in God and pray that God, some type of way, through his providence, can help them come back to where you know they belong. Y'all have a great day.